Hey, what's going on guys, Ace here, and today we are going to review episode 4 of Blue Lock season 2, and I gotta tell you guys, this might be my favorite episode so far. Even though one was cleaner, this one actually had football, and so it looking this good made me really enjoy it. Of course, in addition to the review, we are going to go over the manga and compare it to the episode, see what they added, what they cut off, and overall how was the pacing of the adaptation. And it goes without saying guys, this video contains no spoilers, only hints so you can understand the show better. And of course, to do that, we gotta answer the first question, which is how many chapters did this episode actually cover? For that, it actually covered 3.5 chapters. Chapter 104, 105, 106, and half 107, which kinda was weird and made sense at the same time, more on that later. However, they gotta finish this volume and reach the start of the U20 game by the end of the next episode. And while I see that happening, they would need to cover 5.5 chapters in the next episode, which since it wouldn't have any games, I think it is doable. However, my bigger concern is actually with the U20 game. If they do it and we reach the beginning of the U20 game at the end of the next episode, that would leave us with 9 episodes to cover the whole match. And while I can see it being plausible, I really do not think it would be good pacing. I'm really scared for this, guys. Like 14 episodes is not enough. I think at least they should add 1 or 2 episodes. Ideally 2, because I really want this match specifically to be adapted to perfection. However, this is neither here nor there. For now, let's jump to the episode and review it. First, they skipped a scene of Shido and Rin that I alluded to in my previous video that actually happens after they speak to Isagi. And definitely this is odd, but I'm not going to cover it here and I'm not going to say what happens because I think they would cover something similar later, meaning I would not spoil any of that for you guys. Instead, the episode actually started with Ryo's background, and it had a lot of somewhat anime exclusive scenes because these happened in the manga, but they weren't as fleshed out as in the anime, like we've got a lot of exclusive scenes here. However, the overall narrative of Ryo having everything was shown in the manga as well, and I think this is a good decision because this is an anime and it's been a while since season 1, and some people might have forgotten about Ryo's past. In any case, the real start of the episode was with Nanase, Isagi, and Hiyori's discussion, and I gotta say it went exactly like the manga. However, the art looked amazing. Hiyori looks much better in the anime than the manga here, which is funny cause in episode 2 he looks much worse, and kinda proves that the production improved dramatically. Also, what I noticed about Hiyori, after episode 3 they actually gave him his personality back. He's not a nice dude, and I love that. He is just calm and collected and not an asshole. And another thing, the 3D scenes here really made this section look much better than in the manga, which I definitely appreciated. But in any case, since this section was the same as in the manga, let's just carry on with the start of the game. And immediately I noticed they are actually trying to avoid those stiff kickoffs, which is great. Then the Nagi and Ryo section was basically the same as in the manga, so let's just ignore it. However, after that tall guy stopped Nagi, we've got a lot of exclusive scenes for Igagori, which I'm not going to lie guys, they are super funny, especially him with Rin here. And I'm not going to lie, they added a lot of flavor to this episode. But the only thing I didn't like about this is that we don't know the context for why Shido screamed at Igagori. Sure, we know that they were in the same team in the second selection. However, if they shown us the Kunigami vs Shido matchup, we would have seen why Igagori got scared this much of Shido. But in any case, the next scene, Shido and Gagamaru also looked really sharp. And at this point I've noticed, I'm really enjoying the episode. There aren't really any stiff scenes that bother me. Everything is going great. However, if I love this, what was coming next is actually pure gold. They handled my boy Yuki so good, especially how he seemed to be dominated Rin completely one-on-one. And also as an elegant touch, they gave him the formidable enemy OST, which if you remember from season 1, it was given to the first scene of Baru destroying Team Z. And I definitely love this. Yuki looked really good here. Then I think him against Shido was a bit stiff, but it wasn't to the point to bother me. It actually looked amazing, especially that we had a lot of dialogue from Ryo. And also the pacing was great here, because they flushed out Yuki really well. However, I found it funny that they showed Bachira from season 1 here, because this really highlighted the difference of the animation between season 1 and season 2, and how the first season was much better. In addition to this, there were 2 things that I noticed. First, Ryo took Isegi's place as the main character, as we are getting everything from his side. And also, again with Yuki, they really showed how egotistical he is. Like, he is nice, but man, he is the egotistical one-on-one emperor. However, the rest with his shot and everything with Nagi and Ari was the same as in the manga. But it was missing the aura again, which is something I really hated about this season. Like, we don't have any aura for the shots or blocks or whatever the case may be. But regarding the play, this is actually a great foreshadowing for Yuki. Him not accounting for Aiku is a big deal. There is actually foreshadowing something really big in season 3, so please keep that in mind, guys. But in any case, in the next section there were some anime exclusive scenes with the stats for each player, and I really loved that because it shows the difference between each player, and also it draws comparison to Ryo, who is overall balanced and well-rounded. However, after that, everything else up to Ryo's past was the same as in the manga. And again, his past here got much more scenes, which I appreciated as well, because it conveys his struggle and why I really like this character. Ryo is a man who ran from easy success and ran from boredom, and that's definitely something I will forever respect about Ryo. Sure, sometimes he looks spoiled, especially when he says that Nagi is his. However, you can't deny what this man sacrificed. He left a very successful life just for his dream, and that's something I will forever respect. In any case, we gotta talk about Ikagori again. His scene with Yuki really cracked me. I was in tears. Like, Yuki did not even need to stop so he can dribble past him. He just blew him off with speed. And mind you, this really showed how fast Yuki is. But going back to Ikagori, I can't lie to you guys, he really added an amazing touch to this episode. Like, it made it so much better. And mind you, this was not the case in the manga. Ikagori sure was goofy, but he was not this entertaining. And so this is another aspect where the anime really blew the manga off in this episode. And I'm loving it so far. You can tell from my demeanor, this episode really satisfied me. And that's definitely amazing. But in any case, Ryo's goal was the same as in the manga, and it was handled really well, especially in this scene. You know, his dialogue, the voice acting, the OST intensifying. I know it's just a stiff image, but man, it looked really good. This was pure perfection, and funny enough, they gave him a little bit of aura in his shot, which, I don't know, it wasn't that great, but I would still appreciate anything over nothing. However, from there and to the end of the episode, it was again the same as in the manga. Even with Isagi and Hiyori analyzing him, it was still the same. But the chapter actually continues with Sai and the principal scene that happened in the post-credit section here, and actually a lot of what happened here got cut off due to them already covering it in the first episode. You know, with the greed of the manager and the head of the Japanese Football Association. And I actually really prefer this. Like, Sai's conversation is really different from that scene, and so I really liked it that they split it off. And to get back to what I said earlier, them cutting the episode here was actually a great move, because I feel what happens next, which is the end of the third selection, cannot be cut off really, and it is way too long to be included in this episode, even if they cut the anime exclusive scenes. And so this was a brilliant move from them. Leave everything about the end of the third selection in the next episode, which by the way I think we will get introduced to the 11 players that would represent Blue Lock in the U20 game. So yeah, overall I feel the pacing in this episode was far more engaging than in the manga, which is actually insane to say. Coming from the second episode, which completely blows, to this perfection, I'm really loving it. Sure, there were some stiff scenes that needed animation, but overall I really loved this episode. And it really made me happy because this is my favorite show, and seeing it be handled this way, it is great. I wouldn't say it is the best it can be. I think an animation like season 1 or Kuroko no Basket would have been better, but still this was great and I really enjoyed it. However, that's all I've got for you today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, thank you for watching.